Next, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to find, mosques are going to be full in October. We're going to find, iftar party, people fasting. All these things are happening in our community. All that activity is going on one hand. On the other hand, year out, year in, we don't necessarily see a qualitative change in our community, whether it's issues that to do with the family, husband and wife conflicts, and you can have a couple of counselors here who are familiar with all realities. We have toxic divorces. We have, infighting between, masajids or like. We have, issues between parents and children. We have these. We have drugs in our Muslim community. We have all sorts of these sort of things going on. On the one hand, we've got a plethora of ibadat happening. On the other hand, the issues in the community don't seem to, change that much.
So first and foremost, I think we all need to take a step back. We are talking about individual actions of ibadah. We're also talking about the internal effect that the ibadah should have. Then we're talking about that internalization, how can it be externalized within our relations when it comes to huquq al-ibad and huquq Allah, the birr al-walidain. Those are huquq al-ibad, is your relations between one another, your huquq, the rights that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has upon us, the rights and being good to your parents. We are talking about a number of things. I want to take a step back. We talk about taqwa and being God conscious. With the raise of hands, I want to know from the whole crowd, how many of us fast because Allah has told us to fast? All of us, right? How many of us fast because we're going to get reward for fasting? How many of us cook those meals and give it to a neighbor or a friend or a family member because we know the hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if you provide food for the breaking of the fast to another person, you will get your reward and you will get their reward without diminishing the reward that they get. How many of us do that? We all do. When we fast, we talk about why is fasting not bringing about taqwa? It is. It is. And that's the thing that we as imams, as scholars, psychologists, doctors, people who are in the positions of giving talks, we have to take a step back and realize that the reason why the ummah is actually fasting is because of taqwa. I can go and cheat. No one's going to see me take a sip of water. The reason why if food and water is sitting in front of me and I don't eat that food and drink that water is because, no, Allah is watching. That's taqwa.
I mean, obviously, there's no doubt that Muslims, there are Muslims, many Muslims who are consciously seeking Allah's pleasure, and that's why they're not eating drinking. But can it not be argued that there is a reality that despite when you see all this ibadah, all these actions, and you see the kind of conflicts we see in our community, maybe the fasting that we're doing is not actually affecting our shakhsiyah, affecting our nafsiyah. I think that maybe that's what that can be. So then, no, that can be sometimes contradicting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And I'm sorry, I will not stand for that. I do not stand for someone contradicting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the greatest Sahabi is in a battle. There is a man who is attacking him from the opposite side. And then right before he strikes him, that man, an enemy of Islam, says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And he accepts Islam there and there. And still, this great Sahabi, I'm not going to take his name, kills this person. When he goes to the Prophet ﷺ and the Prophet ﷺ knows what he did, the Prophet ﷺ says, how can you do this? Do you know what is inside of his heart? So when we are going around saying
that, oh, your fasting is not affecting you. Your fasting is not really making a difference because we're seeing still problems within the community. That is not because of the fasting. That is not because of the fasting. It is because of who we are. You have three different types of nafs. You have nafsul amara, you have nafsul lawama, and you have nafsul mutma'inna. We don't even know the basics of deen, and we want to talk about saying that your fasting doesn't make a difference. Your salah doesn't make a difference. Man, I know people, Allah knows how many people have taken shahada with us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how many people who are Muslim that come back to the masjid in the middle of the night, people that are tatted up, drunk. They come to the masjid. Why? Because of what you mentioned. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Where you have that aspect of when people are upset and Allah brings them back. Why? Because you have La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in your heart. And with this, you have to understand, the Prophet made it very clear, you have no idea what someone's heart contains.